Yo. Yo, yo, yo. Where is my chat? Get over here. There we are. Test. Perfect. Let me just check that it's covering all screens. This one is not right. There we go. Why isn't the chat showing? There we go. And desktop. Perfect. Just what I needed. Bam, 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 bam. Born. What up? How was your weekend, my dude? James, how's it going? James Blakesley. That's a sick surname. Ba, 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 ba. I'm just double checking that all my scenes and everything are up and running, and it all looks fine. Perfect. We can start with stream. And as always, I start with viewer comments. Nope, that is the wrong screen. Let's get up. Where are we? Studio? Chrome? YouTube? What? What is Rebecca doing on my screen? Anime. There we go. For the past couple of streams, my display has been really pale. But it seems to be this Force SDR. I don't know what that is. I don't know what she's doing. YouTube Studio. I think I was able to keep on top of all of my comments pretty much. Bar one from My Cup of Tea. He was pestering me. He tried to contact me on Twitter. And I think he used the comment section to get my attention. It didn't work. I contacted him when I wanted to. Alright, let's turn you down. Because you're a little high. Bum, bum, bum. Cool. Rainy, though lucky your state isn't burning. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad it's safe from the hurricane. You guys get hurricanes so often. Because they go through the alphabet, right? And every so often I'll hear a hurricane is happening and then suddenly it will start on, I don't know, hurricane, something beginning with A. And then a couple of weeks later, there's one that begins with like H or Q. It's crazy how many hurricanes you get. But although it's raining, do you get like warm rain where you are? In the UK, it's always just cold rain. It's rarely warm rain. Like when I used to go to the Caribbean, the rain there, like when I was there for one hurricane back in 2006, I think it was. And it rained for like 3 days straight, but it was so hot. You can still go swimming, you can go in the sea. It was a little bit choppy. Mantis, how's it going? Let me get these comments up. Same. All new manga series to me. I've put into my recommended a few more shoujo series. I don't think I'll collect many more because most of the series that I have now are either ongoing or I still have to collect quite a fair few volumes. Queen's Quality and Requiem of the Rose King, they're ongoing still, and I think they're in the mid-teens, like 16, 15, 16, 17. And I've only got like the first like 3 or 4, so I need to get all of those. That's around close to 30 volumes. Plus all the other shoujo series that I picked up, which are around 4 or 5 volumes long. And they're all still ongoing, and I'm behind on so much more. But people are still recommending loads and loads of shoujo to me, which isn't a bad thing. I might just have to read some of them online. Check your Twitter. No, you can't make me. You finished the first box of One Piece? What's the first box? The first 23 volumes, right? So you've just finished Alabasta, the Alabasta arc. How did you find it? Is this your first time reading One Piece? It just tends to be kind of cold. Oh, that kind of sucks. I think the worst is when it's rain and windy and it's cold. The triple threat. It's not great. But yeah, stopping from getting wet is just staying inside, to be honest. Curl up, play video games. Are you still playing Elden Ring, by the way? You said, I think a couple of months now, that you was playing some Elden Ring. Are you still playing? How many volumes of One Piece have I got? All the way up to volume 100. All 100. All in singles, no box sets. I've been following One Piece since 2007, when I first started buying manga. And yeah, I've just been I think this is the only series I've regularly been keeping up on top of. I think 3 years ago, I wasn't really purchasing a lot of manga. And I think One Piece was the only one I was really keeping on top of. And Golden Kamui as well. So I was very lucky. And during COVID, obviously, manga had a big boom in the last 2 years. And a lot of the One Piece volumes have been eaten up. 23 volumes, yeah, nothing super crazy. I think Story is good, better when Chopper got introduced. Yeah, I've recently started rereading it myself. And I've found, this is the first time I've read One Piece, I think since 2007, 2008, 2009, when I first got introduced to the series. Oh, not introduced to the series, introduced to manga, because I was watching it a few years beforehand. But yeah, after being caught up to the most recent chapter, obviously no spoilers, but rereading the first, I'm on volume 18 at the moment, so I've just entered into Alabasta. The characters are very slowly introduced, and it's relatively quick to read. The story isn't really complicated. It's very calm. It starts to pick up during Alabasta. When they go into the Grand Line, it gets a little bit more wordy. There's a lot more lore to go through. Obviously, they introduced Alabasta and it's how the governing body works, and obviously Crocodile. They introduced the 7 warlords. Ace gets introduced, and yeah, I think once Chopper gets introduced, obviously Drum Island, I think, is the first island that they go to where they're there for a long time, and there's a lot of dialogue going on. A lot of the time when they go to like Barati or when they go to Usopp's island, there's not a lot of conversation really. They kind of get in, make a bit of a ruckus, and then run off. But yeah, I hope you stick with it. The fact that you got a box set makes me think you're going to stick with it if you can find the second one. The story is just going to thicken. I think the good thing about One Piece is that the longer you read it, the payoff is better, because you're introduced to characters that were introduced 5, 6, 7, 10 volumes ago. They'll be reintroduced and they'll have a more of an impact in the story. And because you've seen them before, you will have that instant connection to them, so you don't have to waste time being introduced to them, etc. But yeah, I think you're right though. It's nothing super crazy. It gets crazy, I think. Sounds like a long time. But another 10 volumes, it starts to get 10, 15 volumes, it starts to get really crazy. And then it's uphill after that in a good way. As in, like, it peaks, keeps going up to the top. You haven't played in a while, got lost in this city in the sky. Yeah, I think because it's open world, people tend to kind of experience so much of it in like a small amount of time, and they kind of drop off. Ghost of Tsushima, is that the one with the monkey? Ghost of Tsushima. So is that kind of like your go-to type of game, like the Bourne kind of things, like the extremely hard games? I've seen so many playthroughs of all these like Bourne-esque games that they all kind of meld into one. It's Ghost of Tsushima. There's another samurai one. Is this Ghost of Tsushima? What's the tagline? Is it Demons Die Twice? Demons Die Twice. Video game. Oh, Sekiro. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of Sekiro. I think I've watched Sekiro. I haven't watched any gameplay of Ghost of Tsushima. You rarely complete games no time. Preach. The only reason why you bought the box set is because you got a good deal. I don't blame you. And the thing is, if you don't like One Piece, you can always resell it. There's always people willing to spend money on the box sets, even if they are pre-owned, and you could potentially get your money back. But yeah, hopefully the second box set comes for you at a reasonable price, and you don't have to worry too much about scalpers and whatnot. Because I think box set 2... I think box set 2 will take you up to like nearly 50. So it's a good chunk of the story. Box set 2, I think, if you don't like it after box set 2, or you're still not really feeling it, you should probably drop it. The Souls gates are relaxing. That is definitely not the word I would use. But yeah, it sounds like you enjoy like learning the fights, you know, the parries, the movements of the enemies, etc. Because they always have like massive bosses that you have to like dodge roll through and parry. Have you ever played Cuphead? People say that Cuphead is like the Dark Souls of platformers. Extremely hard. Not that I've played it myself. Right. I don't actually have any comments to go through. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hop straight into some of the interesting manga news that I found online. All right, this isn't particularly anime news, but I don't know if anyone's watched it. Has anyone watched Avatar: The Last Airbender? They just recently announced. I thought I was going to show this. I thought I showed this off last week, but I don't think I did. They showed off all the casting members for, I believe it's the TV series for Netflix. And I'm super excited. I only watched Avatar a little while ago. I remember back in 2008, I had a massive argument with my friend about Naruto and how it's far more superior than Avatar. And he said, you should give Avatar a shot because it's really good anime. And I was adamant that it wasn't anime because it doesn't come out of Japan. It's just American cartoons. But regardless of that argument, I think the story was pretty solid. It was quite interesting. So hopefully they do a good job with this. Netflix is sometimes hit or miss. I feel like they hit a lot more than they do miss, to be honest, with a lot of their adaptations. But this one could be interesting. And I'm not too sure if it's directed by the same directors who did the original story. But if it is, then I think we've got nothing to worry about, to be honest. Should get first volume of Witch Hat Atelier? Yeah, good. Because the anime's coming out soon, or probably next year sometime. Better get in now than later, I would say. I'm still only 3 volumes in. I think volume 9 came out a couple months ago. It's very good. I think you'll enjoy it. No Cuphead, but you want to check out the cartoon? They're doing a cartoon of it. No way they do. It would only make sense, to be fair. I don't know if you've seen like the behind the scenes of how they've made Cuphead. It's crazy. I feel like the amount of effort that they put into drawing each frame is like how Disney did it back in the 30s, or up until like the early 90s. That's how they drew. You know, all the way back in the day to like the 20s and the 30s. But it's very impressive. I've not played the game myself, to be honest, but it looks good. Can't be worse than the movie. Yeah, I've stayed away from the movie. I asked a few people online if it was any good. They all said no, stay away from it. But they told me to watch a couple of clips just to give you an idea of how bad it is. And there was a scene where Aang, like conjures up some rocks or breaks some rocks. I can't remember. It just looked terrible. I think the choreography a lot of the time is what makes live action kind of terrible. You need to go full in, like with proper fighting choreography, like you're trying to beat each other up, or it's just not going to go well. And I feel a lot of the times when they do these action series with one-on-one real life fighting, they just kind of tap each other. They kind of need to go all out. Be interesting to see how they go though, especially with like kids versus the adults. And you find a lot of, and the special effects as well. That's what I'm looking forward to. Because how are they going to get it? Because he's constantly on his like little air ball. He sits on like his little Roomba that he sits on, and he just like zooms around on it. It'd be interesting to see how they animate all that. Oh, you like Legend of Korra as well, yeah? Yeah, I heard it's not as widely accepted. I personally enjoyed it, but I heard it's not very liked elsewhere amongst like the original fans. But yeah, this should be good. Be interesting to see how it turns out. I'm kind of sad that Zuko isn't, I guess because Zuko's I think 14, 15. But the guy who did his voice was Rufio from not Peter Pan, Hook, with Robbie Williams. Yeah, he's I think he's like nearly 40 now, Rufio, or whatever his name is. So I can't imagine him playing a 14-year-old kid. But yeah, I thought that was quite interesting. Speaking of me arguing with my friend about Naruto and Aang, I don't know if anyone has watched One Piece, Naruto, not necessarily read it, but it's the 20th anniversary of the anime, and there was a studio. I don't think I'll play it because it has all of the as a few of the openings from the original series and then Shippuden as well. But they reanimated some of the key scenes, which is very impressive to see because obviously the original run was, what was it, 16:9? 16:9? Was it 6/3? I can't remember the ratio. It was a square. It was square. Square visuals, and it wasn't great. The quality wasn't amazing, but they've redone some of the key elements. If you're a Naruto fan, I would suggest watching it. It kind of brings back good memories. It's only 9 minutes long. Obviously, if you have never watched Naruto or you plan to watch it or you're only halfway through, don't watch it. I don't know who the studio is. I can't remember my hiragana. That is... Pieru. P? Is that P? Hahi? P. I think it's P. P, E, and then Ru. Either way, I think it's pretty good. I watched it this morning. Same studio that did season 2 of Legend of Korra. What, this place? These guys? No, I don't believe you. Really? But yeah, this is really good. A few of my friends have said it would be cool if they did like a Naruto Kai, you know, like a cut down version of the series. I don't think they ever will. I think the difference of Dragon Ball, which was 290 odd episodes, being compressed down to just over 100 over 3 series, 3 seasons. I don't think you can do that with something that's 750. I'll bet they had a lot of filler. So even if you half that, you're still looking at, I don't know, maybe 400 episodes. That's still going to be like 8 years. 8 years is a long time. They could probably compress it down a little bit more. But I think this is pretty cool. I hope they do something like this for Bleach. They're saying that they're re-releasing the last saga, aren't they? But yeah, if you're a Naruto fan, I would say give this a watch. It was pretty sick. I enjoyed it. And then for some manga news, I don't know what language this is, but it was announced earlier on in the year that Yozakura Family was going to get a physical release, and I found this earlier on. And what's really cool is that it has color pages. Now I don't know if when Viz does it for the English translation, if we will get color pages. Can we? I can't zoom in. I want to zoom in. But yeah, hopefully they do. I don't know if the print quality changes with different publishers. I don't know my European publishers at all. But I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. I hope we get some color pages because they did it with Kaiju number 8. It gave it a few color pages, and some of these color pages are beautiful, especially because all the characters have different colored hairs, and sometimes, or at the moment, most of them are wearing black and white. But later on, they have different colors, and you know they have to show off their powers and everything. So there's so many vibrant colors. It'd just be such a waste. Was a downgrade, unfortunately, since they believe since they was rushed. Naruto Kai would be cool. Yeah, I think it would be cool. Yeah, something. Yeah, something like the cutscenes from Ninja Storm would be awesome. Yeah, I still think that would be too long though, because there's how many I don't know how many chapters there are Dragon Ball, but like I said, 200, nearly 300 episodes, and they compressed that down. And to be fair, there wasn't a lot of filler with Dragon Ball, other than the Garlic Junior saga. I think was probably the longest filler, and then obviously all the other filler was just like elongating, like the Namek arc and the Android saga. But yeah, Naruto. That I feel like I don't think they can compress it down to anything less than 400 episodes, which is far too many years. But I would love it if they did, and if they got like the same studio, Toei. I don't know if I don't think Toei Animation did Naruto. Did they? They could have done. But the guy who came in to do the second half of Dragon Ball Super, who's now in control of the new One Piece episodes for Wano. He's changed up the visual style for it, and I think Naruto could do with a nice facelift. That would be cool. Yeah, I'm super stoked for this. I don't think it's selling like extremely well. Over in Japan, it's doing pretty well. Enough that it hasn't been cancelled yet. But it's been, I think it's on volume 13 at the moment in Japan. And we've only just started to get number 1. I don't know why they've decided to pick this one. But yeah, hopefully it sticks around for a little while. I've been enjoying it. I don't know if this will be like a cult classic, but like in the future. I think it's good. It would be nice if it wraps up pretty soon though. And then the manga artist for, well, the mangaka for Promised Neverland is producing a new series. Where's the artist? Hang on a second. The guy who did Promised Neverland, was it a duo? Promised Neverland. It wasn't a duo, was it? It was a duo. I didn't realize. Well, if I had realized, I may have clearly just forgotten. Promised Neverland, yeah, it's just the artist who's producing a new manga. I don't know what this means. Nakano Hito. Hito is fire, right? Person inside the cartoon bodysuit. That cannot be it. Maybe it is. Yeah, this will be interesting because I love the art style of Promised Neverland and some of the other works that they've done as well. Going to bed? Mantis, take it easy. And I'll see you next time. But I'd be interested to see like what they end up doing. Because I really like the art style. They go into so much detail, like background detail and props, etc. And they have like one of my favorite art styles is probably like the sketchiness. So things like Jujutsu Kaisen and Blue Exorcist, where the character designs aren't particularly finished. It still looks like a rough drawn sketch. I really like that art style. And yeah, this is very reminiscent of Promised Neverland. So hopefully it's good. Hopefully it comes out so we can actually read it legally. Because I CPA with all this scanlation stuff. It's too much effort. And then lastly, just a couple of bits for Shonen Jump. These are the records for last chapters. Why is that so bright? There we go. So now I have it dull. Yeah, these are the records for last week's Shonen Jump. It doesn't obviously tell you anything about the series, but it gives you an idea how popular some series are. Obviously, One Piece is probably the biggest thing that Shonen Jump has at the moment. And pretty much everyone's going to be voting the dark green, which is very good. But I don't tend to look at that because I've enjoyed most series. You can kind of guess what series are popular, which ones are good, which ones aren't. You know, Undead Unluck is pretty popular. Jujutsu Kaisen, My Hero. Sakamoto Days is surprisingly overwhelmingly positive in comparison to like, it's actually close. Was that 129, 127 for Jujutsu Kaisen and 116, I think that is, for My Hero. But and then the green is just good, and then yellow is average, bad is red. And red and black are the ones that I'm looking at the most. So black is very bad and red is just bad. Obviously, people are still going to hate on One Piece. I don't know why. But it's interesting to see the Sakamoto Days never has... I've been following this for a while, but it never has bad or very bad. Which kind of shows how popular it is in a way, because it's got an overwhelming amount of just good reviews. More good and average, obvious. More good and very good than anything else. But even the bad, very bad and average is so small, so minute. And also it gives you a good idea of what people really aren't enjoying. I think the highest one at the moment is Tokyo Demon Bride's story. Sorry. It's Yeah, 35 on very bad, and then 37 on just bad, which isn't great. That's what 72 points, which are pretty negative, and then it's just average. Not many people are enjoying it. Say with Super Smartphone, seems to be okay. I hope Ginka and Luna sticks around for a little bit longer, because I've been enjoying that for quite some time now. I'm surprised that PPP doesn't get more very goods, because the manga sales for it are crazy from the get-go. And then there's Elusive Samurai, which I'm surprised that we kind of picked up. I feel like it is very average, the Elusive Samurai. Interesting graph. Open Aliens, Eric and Poor, Yozakura. Yeah. I think if it sticks around long enough, I feel like once you get past the 30 chapter, 20, like 5 to 35 is like the barrier. If you surpass that, then you're not guaranteed safe. But in the last couple of years, most series that have been cancelled have been axed way before they reach 30 or just after 30. So yeah, if it can reach past that point, it'd be interesting to see. Where is Aliens Area? There it is. It's still got good. You know, its negative points are very, very small, similar to not as much as Sakamoto days, but it's very, very small. It's not as bad. I think it's doing pretty good. I think average is kind of like, I know in my head, average is good. It's not bad. I think the bad ones are Tokyo Demon Brides and I think just the gag manga. Me and Roboco, High School Family, which is a shame because it's pretty good. But I don't think they'll go away anytime soon. Unless there's some new gag manga that can come out and replace one of these two. I don't think they'll go away at all. But then there's the popular new series that have come out. Obviously, Ruri Dragon. It's been on hiatus for 2 months now, I think. But it's got an overwhelming amount of positive attention. And that's still dark. Why is it so dark? Yeah, an overwhelming positive amount of votes for most favorite new Jump series at close to 60%. And then the next one is nearly 20% with Ginko and Luna. And then there's Aliens Area. It's crazy because this chart only came in last week. So it's interesting because Ruri Dragon hasn't been around for 2 months yet. People are still voting for it. But Super Smartphone seems to be at the back. No one's really interested. I guess maybe because it's cute girls. Tokyo Demon's probably sticking around a little bit longer. But if this doesn't come back anytime soon, these two will stick around for much longer. And then lastly, this Twitter account that I follow, Yellowstone, produces specifically American published manga and how much they sell. I'm pretty sure he put out a tweet on where he gets it from. It's some sort of just universal book website, which has a list of top 100 books sold that week. And if there's any manga in it, he'll pick it out. But the last 3 weeks, there have been no manga at all that have reached over, I don't know, whatever the threshold is to get up to the top 100 volumes sold. But Spy Family is at number 1 in comparison to manga, not obviously one in the whole of America. I don't know who that is at the moment. But I didn't realize that Twilight Princess came out. It was not on my radar. And that 6,000 people are actually interested in picking it up. And Look Back is not as popular as Twilight Princess. I would have thought that Fujimoto's name would have been enough just to sell anything, considering that people have eaten up Fire Punch and obviously Chainsaw Man. You don't have to mention it. And obviously the last 2 one-shots he's done, 3 one-shots he's done, people have enjoyed. And I thought people would just snap up Look Back. Clearly not. people aren't particularly that interested. Or maybe it's just because, I don't know, people aren't talking about it. When something's out on a weekly basis, I guess you have that discussion, that discourse that's constantly going. So people are constantly reminding themselves that this thing happens. But when you read a one shot, you kind of read it and then that's it. Would expect to see Zelda? Yeah, same. Interesting. Obviously, these are 6,000 people that have volume 1s to 9 and are interested. So I think, yeah, I would have to say Twilight Princess is my favorite game. Zelda game specifically. I haven't read the manga yet, but I'll get onto it at some point. But yeah, it is interesting to see that one, it's on here, and then two, that it beat out Fujimoto. But then again, I'd like to see most of the time when he issues these lists, they only last for 1 week, so you'll never see the manga the next week because when they come out, people just flock and then they'll purchase the newest volume, and then that will be it. 25,000 people have purchased volume 8 of Spy Family, and then next week, maybe less than half of that. Probably not even, maybe a couple of thousand will pick it up. But obviously, like I said, this is just for America. This isn't the rest of the English-speaking world. But yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. I always like to see the sales values. And like I mentioned before, the Japanese sales equivalent are completely different. The numbers are completely different. You're talking hundreds of thousands, maybe even 500,000 for some volumes. Just seeing if I can find. Let me see if I can get it open. Add. Can I do this? Let me see if I can. Bloop, bloop. This. No, it's not working. But you can't really see it. But Kingdom has sold nearly 500,000, 400,000 in the last 10 days. My Dress Up Darling is like 88, which is over 2 times the amount that Spy Family have sold. Yeah, Japanese is something completely different. I'd be interested to see. I just see that Chojin X, the guy who did Tokyo Ghoul, that's still selling pretty well, just over 50,000. Be interested to see what that looks like in a year's time and if it will come over to English. Yeah, I think unless, as I mentioned, I think unless people are constantly talking about a series all the time, people aren't going to go and maybe collect it. I think diehard fans will pick up his work. Maybe, who knows, maybe when the anime comes out, I don't know, people will just get obsessed with Fujimoto and find Fire Punch, and then before you know it, they're buying all his stuff. Oh, Born, have you watched, I don't know if you mentioned it, have you watched Cyberpunk, the new anime? Cyberpunk Edge Runners? I watched that yesterday, last night. It was really good. Really fun. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it, to be honest. I was a little bit taken aback halfway through. There was like a small, I don't know how long it was, but it's some sort of time skip. Could have been a couple of days, to be fair, or a week, or a few months. I don't know. But yeah, it kind of threw me back at that point, because then it started introducing new characters. It was almost like a new season in a way, like the next arc, if you would. Introduced loads of new villains and stuff. But I thought it was really good. Studio Trigger, so obviously the visuals are going to be absolutely crazy. But not as crazy as in my head, I thought they were going to be after watching Darling in the Franxx and Kill the Kill. Kill the Kill was just mental. Church X has striking covers, really draws the eyes. Yeah, they're pretty nice. I really enjoy, out of all the covers that there are out there, specifically I like ones that just have the characters because they don't lead to any sort of like spoilers. Watch all that, all the Shonen Jump manga, they're always spoiling things. You know, Goku standing there Super Saiyan at the front of one of his covers before he even turns Super Saiyan. You look at the cover just not knowing what's going on. But I really like it when they just do just a singular character. And the Trojan X ones are very like stylized as well. Almost like mug shots, like profile pictures. Fantastic. Yeah, I think it was really good. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. The soundtrack it was quite interesting. It wasn't as memorable. I can just remember the genres of the music. When I watch anime, I really take in the music most of the time because I feel like that's where all the emotion comes from. But it was really nice where he'd walk around, you'd hear loads of reggae, and then you'd hear like funk pop, and then you'd hear like drum and bass out of nowhere, especially obviously during like the fighting scenes and everything. It really like amplifies all the gunshots and all the violence that's going. It was a lot more bloody than I was expecting as well. Makes me interested in the games of comics. I'm not sure about the comics. Maybe. I do enjoy the cyberpunk world. Not specifically like Cyberpunk 2077, just like cyberpunk in general. I think it's quite an interesting aesthetic. But I have watched a few people play the original the game, but only for, I don't know, maybe a couple of hours. I watched people play it for, because I watched it when it first came out. I was watching people play it, and there was too many glitches and stuff, and people just laughing at the game rather than actually enjoying playing the game. So it kind of threw me out of it. But now I hear it's pretty good. It's they've gone back and obviously done so much to update it and upgrade it. So maybe I'll pick up the game. Maybe I'd be interested. Although I don't think I'd be interested in making my own character. That's not really my thing. I'm more of a just give me a character to play and I'll just play as them. I don't like making avatars. But yeah, I'd definitely like to look into it a little bit more. And then if I enjoy the game that much, maybe I'll pick up the comics. Have you got any of the comics yourself? Where is... There we are. Safa, how's it going? Do I think I'm a fast manga reader or a slow manga reader? I'd say I'm average. But I think it depends on the series itself. Speaking of which, I just started reading One Piece last week. Well, I say last week. 11 days ago, I started reading. And I would say the first 12 volumes of One Piece, they're super light. I read these in like 30 to 45 minutes per volume. And they are roughly... How many pages did you say? 180 pages, which isn't a lot. It's like an average standard volume. But then the dialogue in them is so it's over so quick. The conversations they have are just so back and forth. They don't really go into a lot of detail. So it's really easy to read them. I've noticed though, with the introduction of like, they've just entered a new like area, new arc, and there's a lot more lore behind the government that the organization that they're fighting against. They've added a new crew member, so when they went to his island, there was a lot more like, again, lore behind his character and backstory. And these took me about maybe an hour, maybe just over an hour to read. But it really does depend on the series. I've recently I say recently, it's like a month ago now. I read Welcome Back Alice by Shuzo Ishimi. His works I finish in like 20 to 30 minutes. But he doesn't have hardly any dialogue, really. But yeah, I can't really answer if I'm a slow or fast reader. I like to think I'm average. I also like to spend time looking at the panels as well. So with One Piece, I'm rereading this for the first time since 2007, 2008, when I first started reading the series. But I've watched it so many times, I don't really have to pay too much attention to what's happening in the panels. But if I'm reading a brand new series or like the newest volume that's just coming out, I like to spend time looking at the panels, not necessarily analyzing, but looking into like the backgrounds and the characters that like inhabit the empty space in the background. You know, if there's a large group, One Piece is prime example. When they've got loads of characters, a group of them all together, you'll sometimes have characters in the background just interacting. It's nice to see what they're doing, and sometimes without any text they tell stories themselves. So it's always interesting to see, and I feel like that takes more time to go through it. What else has a lot of information in the background? Golden Kamui is a similar thing. When they go through cooking and stuff, the facial expressions, I like to just kind of absorb it all. And I think it's yeah, and I just think it's really interesting because it makes you spend longer on the manga. And sometimes I like to just flick back. But yeah, unfortunately there's not a yes or no. I'm a fast or slow reader. I think I'm just average, I would say. What did I read recently? I was reading Death Note a couple months ago. Extremely wordy, so dialogue dense, and I think that took me like 1.5 hours sometimes to read. So if that helps at all, yeah, I think it's a hard question to answer. Alright, if Cyberpunk's on sale, I'll pick it up. Does it have any DLC, Cyberpunk? You seem heavily invested in it, in the world. Clearly grabbed your attention. If you could upgrade any body part of yours or enhance any body part of yours, what would you pick? Me? My eyes. I've worn glasses all my life pretty much, so I don't think I would like I don't like the way I look without glasses, but if I could, I would just get brand new eyes. Just like swap them straight out. And there's laser eye surgery stuff. I don't think I could do that every like 10 years. Which I guess is kind of the same thing if I was living in a cyberpunk world. But eyes would definitely be for me. I don't think I'd want to upgrade anything else. I wouldn't want to be like super strong or anything. You're an average reader, depending on the type of manga. Yeah, 30 minutes to an hour, I think is about right, I think. I don't think it's particularly fast. I don't think it's particularly slow. Yeah, some people, I don't do it myself. I kind of, whenever I do my videos, I kind of just go based off what I remember, and then I will flick through. I never really take notes or anything. But I know some people, when they do like, you know, they got their own podcast and everything, they do like manga podcasts or chapter reviews and stuff. They sit there page by page, just writing down all the notes and everything. But yeah, it's interesting. An interesting question, I would say though. What would you consider yourself, fast or slow reader? Because I know I watch Cake Tins. She says she's pretty fast, and if her reading log is anything to go by, her spreadsheet, she reads like anywhere from 40 to 60 volumes a month consistently. It's always high. I don't know, and she works full time. So I don't know if she's just like a really fast reader, or I know she binges a lot over the weekend. But yeah, she's clearly a lot faster than me. You go for eyes as well. Yeah, that would be actually nice to have, like zoom, being able to like read facial expressions. You could probably, I don't know, record like a lot into your like long and short term memory all at the same time. Certain things, scanning. You know, it would also be cool if you could like auto translate with your eyes as well. Maybe that's a brain thing, but auto translating with your eyes would be cool. Like scanning documents and just retaining all the information that you just scanned instantly. That'd be sick. Is there a particular manga that I wish had a physical release already? To be honest, no. Everything that I currently have, I'm happy with. I'm not particularly reading anything that is old enough to say that I really want a physical release, that I'm enjoying that much. And to be fair, I only really read Shonen Jump online. And yeah, everything that I really wanted to have a physical release has got it. Marshall, Sakamoto Days, and all of the new series that have recently come out aren't really... Yeah, they're too young for me to determine if they should have physical releases yet. I'm trying to think. I don't think... Oh, I hear Kingdom is a really popular one. A Kingdom physical release would be good. Because I feel like I watched the anime. I watched some of the anime years ago, and people have told me many times that the manga is really good. But yeah, Kingdom. If I had to have to say, it would probably be Kingdom. Holy Land. What the hell is Holy Land? Holy Land manga. Oh, that's super old. 2000 to 2008. Oh, the guy who did it is currently working on Berserk, is he? Is that right? I'm looking at him on my anime list. Koji Mori. I don't recognize any of his work. Although it looks like he did some sort of... What is this for Berserk? Ah, he is his assistant. I see. That's why it's probably not updated on my anime list yet, because he has not actually started it yet. He's taken over Berserk. Was for instance Miura. How do people feel about that? I'm not too sure. I've not read Berserk, so I can't really say anything. But I don't know how I would feel if anything happens to Oda. I don't know how I would feel if somebody else took over, even if the art style was exactly the same. I don't know if they would be able to have the same vision, you know? Because surely, I know most mangaka artists have their ideal situation and how they want the story to progress. But surely when you're drawing, you think up things on the spot. And that flair's not going to be there for someone new. Kingdom started to come out here in Spain. Oh man, that's lucky. A lot of European countries tend to get pretty much everything. Spain, France, they tend to publish everything, which is great. It makes me regret even more that I didn't pick up French or take on Spanish as a second or third language. I'm very jealous. How are you getting Kingdom? Are you getting it in singles or is it like omnibuses? Because I think there's like 60 volumes, right? Kingdom Manga. 66 volumes. That's crazy. Yeah, stick those in omnibuses and then before you know it, you'll have the whole set in like 10 years' time. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Berserk continues. How long for. Hopefully, with all due respect, it doesn't go on for too long. Not that I have anything against the manga artist. Like I said, I haven't read any any Berserk, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, I think having it quite short, if they can wrap it up in like, I don't know, a few years or something. I don't know where the story has stopped. But yeah. Taking over was his friend. I guess if he's like a really close friend, I guess obviously that would be okay. I guess in some circumstances, if he wasn't as close to him, they probably wouldn't have even bothered. I'm sure there's loads of manga out there where the manga has passed away, and there's never a definitive ending to it. Well, either way, I wish him the best, and hopefully makes a good run and he doesn't upset fans. Because I can imagine when he comes back with, I don't know, weekly or monthly chapters or whatever Berserk is on, there's going to be a load of people that will come up out of the woodwork and say, no, this is wrong, or Miura wouldn't have done this, etc. But yeah, it's interesting. Let me get rid of this. Plus, you can always ignore it if you hate the stuff after it's been taken over. Yeah, that's true. You could always stop. There's always going to be that resentment, though, right? People who have been following the series for a long time. People who've got, like, you know, the singles up to volume 41, is it? 44? And then the omnibuses got up to 11. You know, they've got them now with an incomplete series if they don't want to continue it. Yeah. Like I said, I don't know where Berserk is, but I would like hopefully he's close enough. I'm sure he'll do the series justice if he's a close friend. But I hope they just don't elongate it to the point where he starts coming up with his own material. I'm sure he's spoken with Miura and like his ideas of where he wanted the series to go and how he wanted Guts to finish off Endy's life, or, you know, relaxing, or who knows if he makes it or whatever. I don't know. But that'll be interesting. Do I have a favorite manga? Yeah, I just always say One Piece. It's got everything that I enjoy about manga. It makes me laugh. The characters are enjoyable. It's got high tension at the perfect moments. It's got cliche battle elements, like shonen battle elements. And yeah, it's emotional at times. I think the connection that I have with the characters is so old that I don't think it could ever be replaced by any other series, to be honest. Although I am thoroughly enjoying Golden Kamui, Vinland Saga. I've been really enjoying. I've just picked up Witch Hat Atelier. I'm really enjoying that, and I'm only 3 volumes in. And to be fair, all those 3 I could probably reread over and over again. By the moment, I'm currently rereading One Piece, and I don't think I've had a second where I thought, why am I rereading this, or it's boring. I've enjoyed every single second of it. And I'd probably pick it over again, over and over again. I think if I wasn't working and I had all the money in the world, I could probably reread One Piece from beginning to the most current volume and then just start again and just keep doing it over and over again. And I don't think I'd get bored, ever. Blum, blum, blum. Have I read Summertime Rendering? No, I have not. But I do have the first volume. I do need to pick up some more. I am getting... I said I was going to get it this weekend, but I didn't. I'm probably going to get Crunchyroll next week, I think. Because this fall season is proper stacked. And I might even pick up Summertime Rendering. Well, might start Summertime Rendering. Just to see if I enjoy it, so I can just consume it quicker. And then maybe pick up the manga. Is it good? Have you been reading it? Or did you watch it? Right, it has been a short one, but I have got things to do this evening. Got more One Piece to read. I've got to fix my computer. So I will be ending pretty soon. Still think One Piece would be my favorite if I had to start it for the first time now. Yes, I think so. I think I can see the flaws in the first... I would say I would say first 15 volumes. It definitely has flaws, but I don't think it... the way I am, I just... Even if a series isn't great, I'll still continue reading it, whether it would be online or physically. But I think I would eventually still fall in love with it for the first time, probably at the same point where I fell in love with it the first time, which is at the Water 7 arc. The characters just mean so much to me. Maybe I am talking through nostalgic glasses, but I feel like watching people recently who have just started the series go through the motions of consuming One Piece for the first time. The things that they're coming out with are exactly the same things that I fell in love. The reasons why I fell in love with One Piece. And I feel like it would still be the same if I watched it. If I could wipe my memory away and consume it again, I think I'd still enjoy it. I just think now where I am now, because I've followed them for so long, I have such a stronger connection to them than if I would read it from now till the end of the year from scratch without prior knowledge. I think it always will be my favorite. But I would normally say, as always, I have a video. But this week I don't have a video because I've actually been working on a video that I'll be planning to release in December. I'm super excited to release it. It's probably going to be, it's been my favorite. I think it's my best video that I've ever made. Most of it isn't my content, to be honest. But I think is such a fun video. I'm looking forward to releasing it in a couple of months' time. So I've been really heavily focused on that, but I'll come up with some videos next week. There's a couple of, I want to do some shopping videos. The Nerd Lounge did he did a YouTube channel challenge, and I really want to take part in it. It was a 150 pound manga challenge. There's a bunch of like goals that you had to get, like try and complete a series, pick up a series that you don't particularly read all that much, pick up a manga that you've never heard of before. Loads of cool things in there, which I thought was quite interesting. So I might try and do that. I need to rustle up £150 though. There's a couple other things that I want to do, but this week there is no video though. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Borns, thanks for sticking around for so long like you always do. I think you've been here for every stream that I've ever done this year. Saw the challenge video, interesting rules and points system. Definitely spicing up. Yeah, I think it does. Because otherwise I just would have, to be fair, I probably still will buy just continuing series. By some of the things, like buy a hardback, I'll probably just buy Vinland Saga. But if I was up to date with Vinland Saga, I'd have to pick something new. But yeah, some interesting stuff. I'll have to look into it. There's some rules that you can't check eBay and my anime list and stuff to get extra points. Because I think like you get a point for the highest rated manga on my anime list and stuff. Way better than work, trust me. The benefit is mutual. Well, as long as work is still stressful, I guess I can give you some sort of relief. So that makes me happy. Hopefully it's not too bad for you though. Me, myself, I feel like I'm going to lose my job any moment. It's got so much lack of motivation to do anything at the moment for my company. But that's neither here nor there at the moment. All I'm interested right now is just reading a bunch of One Piece, streaming with you guys, and reading loads of manga. And maybe watching anime from next week onwards. But anyways, thanks for sticking around, and I will see you all next week on Monday.